Hockey fans, it is another day. It's another Dan K show, and it is NCDC opening weekend. We're 2 weeks into the Premier and Elite now. For some, we're opening up. For others, the whole hockey world has opened wide, and we say it's hockey time across America. And if you're watching us right now on Thursday, we're in a car right now driving to you, Carolina. The USPHL Southeast Showcase starts right now. All right, let's get this show kicked off and underway. The Dan K Show always starts one way and one way only, with Dan K's three things. What things got my attention this weekend? Well, there's a 6-goal performance in Rum River that we'll talk about in a bit. But number one, how about the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights and Long Beach Shredders, okay? The Shredders out here tearing it up against the Fresno Monsters, a 2-1 start to their year at the premier level here in the Pacific. But what about Wilkes-Barre? How was Ray Welsh not hired to take over the Seattle Kraken? I don't know, but he ends up in Wilkes-Barre. And for the second year in a row, he's created a juggernaut in year one. 6-0 between the Premier and Elite to start off their Elite and Premier seasons. My length of things are big out there in Wilkes-Barre. Thing number two, NCDC kicks off this weekend. A lot of great hockey to come. Some big moments that we'll talk about later in the show. I can't wait for NCDC hockey, the best league in Tier 2, the most NHL draft picks in this past year's NHL draft. What a year it was last year. Let's get it started. Yet again, the number one growing league in the planet, NCDC hockey, baby. Number three, Avalanche. Not of snow, not of Colorado, but of content, according to Lucas Jones. And I go to our content czar, who lets us know, who warns us. Coming out of this Southeast Showcase, there will be content galore for you at home. My right-hand man, my consigliere, Mon Frere from Another Mare, the man with the mane that a lion would be proud of, but the heart that a scarecrow just couldn't hold on to. Wait, he needed brains. Well, Lucas has plenty of those. You thought it was a mistake, but it was on purpose. Lucas Jones, welcome to the show.
I'm truly speechless after that introduction. I have absolutely zero response to that. That was a roller coaster ride of what is he building towards? Oh no, he's lost. No, he's found it again. And somehow we end up here. And Dan, I'd ask you to listen, because do you hear that? Do you hear that sound? It's an avalanche siren, Dan. That means the avalanche of content is coming. And folks, this is what we have been preparing for all season long. With the NCDC kicking off this weekend, we're getting ready to deploy what we might call asymmetric content posting. Let me explain. There's too much content. So we can't do the whole, we post to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and TikTok, right? But that's okay, because they've all got their own voice. Dan talks to the young people on TikTok and Instagram, and we split some duties on Twitter. And I speak to all the hockey parents on Facebook. We're swapping crockpot recipes and our favorite Yankee candle scents, while Dan's over there making a bunch of weird 15-second videos on TikTok, but that's okay. So if you follow us on one platform, you'll still get a bunch of great content. But you'll be directed to go to some other platforms as well to see more great content, different great content. That's the focus this year. Wherever you are, you should be seeing something unique that you won't see in a lot of other places. So make sure you're following us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now TikTok, to be able to see the length and breadth of the content creation that the Dan K Show has to offer.
A lot more to come, a lot to be watching, and you can tune in at _Dan K Show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Remember, later this year, we will have our Holiday Follow Challenge, where you must be following us on our pages to vote for your team to get these wonderful, wonderful broadcasters, one of a kind, as some may say, but a pair of good fellows. Oh, Dan K and Lucas Jones, you can bring us to your rink. All you got to do is vote, but you got to follow us. That's going to come up in November, but start following us now. Because why? Because we're covering your teams all around the country. And speaking of teams, Lucas, I had to pick Dan K Show Stars of the Week, right? I always go out, I pick those stars of the week, I put hours and hours slaving over a warm computer, I guess you could say, to find all the best performances around the league. How about we start in Wilkes-Barre? Okay. And how about we start at the elite level where they put up 28 goals in their first 3 contests? C.J. Reed, a right defenseman, 8 points on the opening weekend. And this guy is from Lucas's favorite winter beach locale. He puts on his swim trunks, he's got his pool noodle, and he heads on up to Anchorage, Alaska, the home of C.J. Reed.
I mean, not only is Alaska a fantastic vacation destination, Dan, but the only thing I think that rivals how good of a spot Alaska is to go visit is how good this Wilkes-Barre team is. I mean, I got a chance to see them in person on opening weekend against the Jersey Hitmen. That game ended in a shootout. We talked about that. And you're putting up now football-sized scores. You're putting up touchdowns, as another team in the USPHL would say. You're putting up touchdowns right now. And I mean, I'm really impressed. There's a size, a skill, a speed. There's determination and grit. You go back and you watch those games, and you're just seeing a team that's firing on all cylinders right now. Dan, they do have an interesting test coming up, though, this weekend in the New York Aviators. They're heading out to the Aviators Sports Complex. They're going to play this New York team, which also is a bit of a question mark this year because of, we haven't really gotten a chance to see them as much as we'd like. There's always new players coming into the system. So this is going to be another test for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights. But, I mean, what a show they've put on so far.
What I will tell you is Coach Mike Stanaway's team, every time you take the ice against them, they will test your mettle, right? And test your mentals as well. Because the idea is he's going to come at you with 7 different kinds of smoke. He's going to be, if you go to the 5-on-3, if you get yourself into penalty trouble, he's going to skate that netminder out of the net and play 6-on-3. This guy's going to play some shell action against you all day long, move the puck, tape to tape. He wants his guys skating with speed. He wants his guys making and creating in space. And it's a different type of game than you're used to, right? At the game of hockey, at any level, he's one of a kind. And what it does is it develops that talent. And you're going to put this Aviator team up against this Wilkes-Barre squad. And if Wilkes-Barre can go and get a statement-making road victory, they're really going to put themselves on the map. You look at this premier squad, Lucas, who goes 2-0 to open up their season on the weekend against the Jersey Shore Whalers. You really loved what you saw out of this Knights squad. And it all starts behind the bench with Cody Murphy. Okay, he did this last year. Ray Welsh and Cody Murphy worked together in Elmira with the great Tim Culpine to put together a national title contender in year 1 without playing a home game for almost the entirety of the season. You then move down here to Wilkes-Barre, same idea. You look at this team of, they're going to get to play home games. So it's already become a little bit easier for them, right? And you're going to see this talent in spades. I cannot wait to see just what Wilkes-Barre can get done.
Yeah, I mean, at the elite and premier level, this might be one of the deepest premier and elite teams in the USPHL right now. You're looking at the way that they're able to be defensively tough, offensively tough. That premier team is going to go up against the Hershey Cubs, another team that is going to be an absolutely fantastic game to watch there. And I love these new teams facing off against each other too, because you're really getting to see not quite growing pains, but more of an acclimation period as teams try to run their system, as they bump up against systems that they may not be able to play so well against and have to adapt. I think the Knights' success is going to come down to their defensive core. I know at the elite level, what I saw was a defense that wants to be involved in puck possession. This is not a defensive unit that just wants to sit near the boards and pinch up against the blue line. They want to be 4th and 5th forwards if given the opportunity. So if you're another team that goes up against Wilkes-Barre Scranton, you need to push the issue. You need to force those defensemen to stay at home. And if you're the Knights, you want to maintain possession of that puck. The dump and chase game is strong. Get that puck in the zone, get all 5 guys in, and really work that offense. We said this was a team to watch at the beginning of this year. I think that is holding true so far.
Yeah, and the story at both levels with Wilkes-Barre has been the balance. Nicholas Baselli, Jacob Penetrante, CJ Reed, Nick Giordano, Ryan Cunningham, Clay Chemnitz, and Maverick Rudolph. Maverick Rudolph, first of all, Maverick, great name, top gun of a name right there for the left winger with 1 goal and 5 assists. But this 5 apple seed guy, 5 apples, all right, for Maverick Rudolph on the season so far. Rudolph, you could say, is lighting the way to lighting the lamp, Lucas. But all of those skaters find themselves in the top 10 point getters in the elite right now in the USPHL. There's balance, but they're also doing it in numbers, man. It's good. It's great. It's grand. And speaking of wonderful, how about the launch of the Long Beach Shredders and our boy Emerson Edom out there? Love what Emerson's doing out there. 2-1 to start the season off in Long Beach. And Lucas Jones, you appeared to be a little bit correct in your prediction with Long Beach.
Yeah, a little more than a little bit correct there. I'm going to came to that Saturday game, and Long Beach had taken the first 2. Dan, you picked Long Beach to come in for the sweep. I came in and I faded you a little bit, and I was correct on this one. You know, that Fresno team is strong in their own right, and these early season games are always a little bit tough. But let's talk about this Long Beach team, right? Because the Shredders absolutely tore it up. Their leading points getter right now, Blake Anderson, 3 goals, 1 assist, tearing it up on the power play too. I mean, this looks like a team where you've got 14 guys right now. So after 3 games, you got 14 guys with a point. Yep. That's insane. That's a team that says depth, that screams depth. If you're going to beat the Shredders team, you're going to have to beat the entire team. And I think that's a huge asset that they have.
Yeah, and I love the game being played by this squad right now. The balance, the ability to be tough. One guy I want to point out who doesn't show up as much in the point sheet after the weekend, 1 assist for him in the 3 games, it's Angelo Picazzo. Okay, 6'3" tall, right defenseman, 180 pounds. Picazzo, man, this is a guy who he's making art and he's doing it unconventionally at the defenseman position. I like the way he plays the game. You talk about Blake Anderson. No, not from the Workaholics, but Blake from the Long Beach Shredders. This guy was a workaholic this weekend, 3 goals and an assist, 1 power play goal, 1 power play assist. Then you look at Jacob Sanger, who had a 2 power play assist weekend for himself. You talk about balance. You talk about playing tough, playing hard. This is a team where the defense is going to show up over time. They're going to continue to grow that defensive style. They're going to have the landmines that they step on at times. That 9-1 loss to Fresno, those are going to come, right? They're the growing pains of that first year together, of that first weekend together. But to watch them bounce back, to watch them come out of the weekend 2-1, even with a loss at that 9-1 level, just shows resiliency. It shows mental toughness, and it shows that Long Beach is going to be shredding up the Pacific Division all year long. Cannot wait to see where they go. We've got a lot more to get through, Lucas. We had some incredible performances. We have some highlighter guys that will be dropping on social media soon. But next up for us on today's show, we're going to showcase the opening weekend in the NCDC.
The Dan K Show would like to thank all of our fantastic sponsors for the work that they do. If you're interested in partnering with the Dan K Show, reach out to @the_Dan K Show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and you too can work with the most watched show in junior hockey.
All right, hockey fans, we dive deep into NCDC opening weekend now. A lot of action ahead of us. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It is Thursday. And right now, South Shore is taking on IHC live on Hockey TV. So once you hear our predictions here today, you finish watching the Dan K Show, head on over to Hockey TV, check out that opening broadcast on Hockey TV, Islanders Hockey Club taking on the South Shore Kings to kick off the NCDC campaign. Before we get into that, though, Lucas and I have to make our predictions. Lucas, it's happening right now, but this is basically the battle of the Dan K picks in the North Division to start the season off. South Shore Kings, Islanders Hockey Club. You couldn't have planned it better. They didn't plan it with us in mind, but they might as well have. I got to take South Shore in the opening game of the season, Lucas, because I picked them to win the North Division.
And I got to pick IHC for the same reason. I mean, I feel like one of the reasons that we both kind of put ourselves on these respective hills is because we know how good these teams are going to be this year. Is it destiny that they kick off the NCDC season facing off against each other? Maybe. Is it planned? Absolutely not, because that would require planning, and that is not something we are good at.
Yeah, and the big thing for me is I'd love to see the South Shore Kings win a title solely so that a local bakery in the Foxborough region will be so hyped up on Netflix superstar, former Danbury Trasher, Italian megastar Drew Omacholi. They'll be so psyched up on the NCDC Coach of the Year, defending champ of that award. And you know, they might make a cannoli called the Holy Omacholi, delicious cannoli. And that's what I am looking for out of the South Shore Kings this year. On top of winning games, it's also creating delicious cannoli recipes.
If you get us a bakery sponsorship, we will not fit into any suits.
I already don't fit in any of my suits, Lucas, and we got to be in Carolina. So your pick number 2, Lucas. I had South Shore, you had IHC. What's your next pick for the weekend in the NCDC?
Well, I'm going to take this pick to Jersey. I'm going to bring it back home, the only home I've ever known, because I like the Rockets to sweep the weekend. I think this is a team that is coming off a fantastic season last year. I think they're coming back into this year with a chip on their shoulder. I think this is a squad that, not that they're not looking at the season, because you have to in a league as competitive as the NCDC, but their eyes are focused strictly on moving that Deneen Cup just slightly down the turnpike, a little bit farther down 202 into Bridgewater.
And Lucas, I'll tell you what, man, Coach Ejikate up there is going to want to educate you after this weekend with a couple of victories over this Rockets hockey club side. And a very famous song with his first name, Louis, right? You're saying they're going to go Louis, Louis, Louis to start up. And he's going to be saying, Lou, I don't agree with your 3-loss prediction, Lucas. I think that Louis Ejikate is going to have something to say to you up in Adirondack. I stay in Jersey with my next prediction. I stay in Jersey and I go up the Parkway a little bit, or maybe up the Turnpike, depending on how traffic looks. I head down Route 3, maybe jump a 17 for a little bit to avoid some traffic. Okay. I stop in at Harold's Deli, home of some of the biggest sandwiches you can eat. Pancakes the size of your gosh darn bike tire. I eat myself a bike tire sized pancake. I then head into the Ice Vault Arena. I don't know why I became JFK at the end of that accent, but we'll stay away from it. Hitmen sweep the home and home with the Philadelphia Hockey Club. I think it's closer than you think, but after a 7-1 win that we'll talk about in the empty net in the last exhibition game before the season started, I've got Hitmen with the home and home sweep over Philly.
Well, Dan, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do to support the Jersey Hitmen, I guess, is what we're getting into here. Interesting pick. I mean, we all know that this is a perennial contender. Although one of us on the show last week didn't think that they would go as far as most people do, but we'll save it. We'll save it. That was last week's show. This is this week's show. You've got another one.
I got another one. And also congratulations to Coach Toby Harris on his 750th game. We'll talk about it a little more in the empty net, but we get into my upset pick of the week. Upset pick of the week in the NCDC. And this is going to be shock city for a lot of NCDC fans out there. Taking advantage of a situation here. Just had him on the audio podcast, Dan Zerlip. He's gotten into, he's one of the boys now. He's one of the boys. And you know what? I do it, hashtag for the boys here. Dan Zerlip, maybe the best Dan in the Dan world. Dan Hodge up there as well. But I go with Dan Zerlip and the Boston Advantage to upset the Boston Junior Bruins on Friday night. Boston Advantage 1-0.
That is a very bold prediction. And you know what? The beginning of the season, I can see it as well. I can see it in the middle of the season. I can see it at the end of the season. We keep talking about the parity, but we keep repeating it because of how much parity there is and how much these teams can come in there and compete. I like that pick, but Dan, I will admit that this is now awkward.
Really?
It's a bit awkward now.
Upset pick?
My upset pick.
Oh, no.
Because my upset pick is that the Twin City Thunder are going to beat the Junior Bruins.
Oh, Mike Anderson's going to fight us.
First of all, deepest apologies to Mike Anderson. He's working very hard. up there in Marlboro to get his boys ready for the season.
Against the stream now. Apparently the current's pushing against them from the Dan K Show.
Apparently we are now just disrespecting Coach Mike Anderson. He will be running away from me from interviews this season. Obviously we joke, but yeah, I just think that week one is ripe for upsets. We saw it in the NFL, right? We saw in the NFL week one, upset city, right? So why not this weekend? Why not teams who the Twin City Thunder made it to the semifinals last season. They were given that early exit, but this is the systems are in place. That's why I like these two picks. The systems are in place. The Twin City Thunder, I think, upset the Junior Bruins. I think it's going to be a bit of a shootout, though. Something tells me it's going to be high scoring.
What's my mug say?
Bossosaurus.
It says Bossosaurus. And on this show, I am the Bossosaurus, but I think Mike Anderson might be saying to us after this weekend who the Bossosaurus is now. I'm the Bossosaurus now is what Mike Anderson's going to say. He's going to have to be dinosaur tough because he just got picked against in both of his opening weekend games. He does not want to walk into the New England Sports Center for the upcoming showcase 0-2. If he goes 2-0, he is going to have a lot to say to us, and I hope he does. I would love to see it. Lucas, your fourth and final selection.
Well, I take it a little bit farther south. I have been a huge admirer and supporter of what Powell Junior Islanders and Connecticut Junior Rangers have built in those barns, in those systems, in those organizations. I think that these two teams split their opening weekend. This is a home and home for them, so they're going to each have one home game. Even though the drive is about 10 miles, it will take them 3 days, as is tradition, to get from Connecticut all the way out to Northwell Health from Long Island. But I think it's a home and home. I think it's a split with the home and home here. I think these teams are both ready to play. I think these are going to be close games.
Yeah, and Lucas, this is like a budding rivalry in my mind between the Connecticut Junior Rangers and the Powell Junior Islanders. Not only do they both they resemble some teams in the tri-state area that don't like each other very much. Mm-hmm. But each and every year, it just feels like this is a split series. It just feels like it's back and forth. It feels like one kind of takes the mantle as the other as one of these contenders at this NCDC level. Jim Henkel knows what he's doing. Mike Marcoux is a man that'll win a summer showcase and be unafraid to miss a ferry home to get that Title won. Two guys who we like a ton, like two real guys who understand what this level is all about, do it for the players. They do it for the right reasons. This is going to be a tough battle. I go to my final pick of the weekend, Lucas, and I do it highlighting a guy who does it for the right reasons, who always did it for the right reasons, who left a legacy in this hockey world that I don't think will be matched in the junior hockey level ever, in terms of absolute care, absolute day in and day out hard work, nose to the grindstone, and just doing it for the right reasons, man. On Sunday, September 26th, the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs will be dedicating the North Rink, the home of your New Hampshire Junior Monarchs, in honor of the incredible, unrivaled, unmatched Ryan Frew. Lucas, a man who forever will be synonymous with what we do this for, why we do it.
Yeah, that's great. It's a small way that we can kind of commemorate what a huge impact that he had on this league, on you and I personally, and continues to have across the hockey world. So I'm happy to hear it. I'm happy to see it, happy to be a part of it. And just really looking forward to seeing the many ways that he is remembered across the hockey landscape.
Please reach out at USPHL at _NK show with your favorite Ryan Frew stories for those friends, for those family members, for those competitors out there that he loved to coach against, for those players who played for him. Share your stories, share your tales, and we know that we will be remembering Ryan all weekend long and every minute of every day that we cover this great game of hockey.
Welcome back. It's time for the empty net. It's time for a segment where we get to sort of let loose a little bit, unbutton that top button, take off that tie, hang it up, put your house pants on, and settle in and see what's been going around the social media Twitterverse. And we've had a couple of interesting things come our way here. The first thing, Dan, is a couple of teams got into a little bit, not a shouting match, but a very passive aggressive, really a good Minnesotan argument, that real passive aggressive type of argument that they're known for out there. It's the Rockets and the Hitmen.
And Lucas, I want to weigh in. We just made our NCDC selections. I want to weigh in on who won this battle. And I think it was the Jersey Hitmen. Okay, because if there's one thing I love more than a good social media bout, it's picking a winner. You know what I mean? And the Rockets Hockey Club chirping the Hitmen about keeping score and keeping records in exhibition games, baby. That's what it's all about. We win. We win each and every day. That's what we should be doing at every level. But no, it was interesting to watch. I sent the wonderful gif of old Stephen Colbert eating the popcorn with the 3D glasses on, just watching. I love a good Twitter battle. This rivalry was ramped up last year to an absolute 11. And just watch out. All season long, Rockets Hockey Club, Jersey Hitmen, it will be a battle royale.
Yeah, and I think if there's two people on this planet who love taking things that don't count and turning them into essentially the Super Bowl of things that don't count, it's Dan and I. So we love a good exhibition game that gets blasted out as a win on Twitter, and we just love it. We love all the interaction on social media. That is why we're here. And second of all, staying with the Jersey Hitmen, we've got a pretty big announcement. Dan, it feels like just yesterday that we were making a similar announcement, but a much lower number. Tell the folks at home what's going on.
Yeah, and this is really exciting news. Coach Toby Harris of the Jersey Hitmen going to be behind the bench for the 750th time this weekend. I want congratulations to be fired out at Toby Harris from throughout the hockey world. This is something, in this hockey world, in sports, we never like to toot our own horn, right? But sometimes we have to praise the people who are doing it right. Toby Harris has won, I think, every single game unofficially that he's ever coached. Unbelievable career record behind the bench, championships galore, and every year, just a deluge of players moving on to the next level of the game. He does it right, he does it correctly, and he wins.
He's not just great for the player side. We've heard the stories. We've had guys that have gone on to different leagues and have said, Coach, can I come back? I want to come back and I want to play with you. We can talk about him from the media side. Always willing to give an interview, always willing to come out and talk for as long as you need him. Never turns away a bench interview, but still respectful enough to ask for the things that he needs, right? I love a coach that, you come down for a bench interview and he goes, can I get 2 minutes?
Yeah.
You love that. It's a guy who understands that the media is important, but is focused on his team firsthand. That's why we love Coach Harris. That's why we were alerted to this fact.
570, 126, and 52 on his career. That is winning a lot more than losing.
Yep.
In a 750 game career. I will tell you that much. Congratulations, Coach Harris. Lucas, we almost forgot this one. I didn't tell you this one off the air, so you're going to be surprised by it as much as I am. We've got an announcement to make this week, remember? We're going somewhere. Where are we going in January, Lucas? What is officially happening on January 21st? That is Friday, January 21st. We will be heading where?
We'll be going west.
West. Midwest, as they say. The Minnesota Blue Ox are bringing out the Dan K Show, officially announced now. Dan K, Lucas Jones, barnstorming tours will be happening all season long, and we will be storming the barn in Minnesota. The Blue Ox will take on the Minnesota Moose. We'll be announcing just what that game will be called, but we've got a trophy game, baby. There's going to be some steaks, both edible steaks. I'm going to be eating steaks. Lucas knows a Minnesota steakhouse that I got to eat at. And there's going to be real stakes, S-T-A-K-E-S, on the line. Minnesota Moose, Minnesota Blue Ox, the battle, baby. Let's see what happens.
This is awesome. I love it. I got to visit with the Blue Ox this past year when I was on vacation up in Minnesota. We got a chance to hang out. Didn't get to hang out with as many coaches as I would have liked, but I can tell you this: both teams, both coaches are excited. You and I, Dan, we love a good trophy game. We are hard at work right now coming up with a trophy shape, a logo, a name for the cup. We got ideas firing everywhere. One that might be a little bit cooler. We'll see if it ends up working out. But I think this is going to be a lot of fun. The more trophy games, the better. Any trophy game, let's do it.
Will it be antlers up or will it be on with the oxen? We will see. And Dan K just made up a new marketing slogan for the Blue Ox on the fly. What I do, I invented antlers up, never saw my royalties for it. Never saw my royalties for inventing antlers up. I've just on with the oxen, antlers up. Who will win? Let us know on social media. Moose, Blue Ox, who you got? Lucas, who do you got for our parting words? What are you going to say? What are you thinking about, bud? That's a remastered sleep water bottle. Fight snoring with just a sip, like Lucas of the Dan K Show. Let Dan sleep better and let your significant other, friends, family, whoever's in your house, your roommates, your billet friends, whoever, let them sleep better and stop snoring with Remastered Sleep. That's remasteredsleep.com. Dan K Show 10 at checkout to help yourself sleep better with just a sip. We also thank Elite JR Profiles. That's elitejrprofiles.com. Elite Junior Profiles, not just for your hockey player, but for all your athletes at home, for sponsoring the Dan K Show. The USPHL to the moon with them, USPHL.com.